Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. We have jumped on live, just waiting for my guests to arrive. But as they say, and these two that are going to come on the show, as they say, the show must go on. But ladies and gentlemen, glad to see everyone is here and welcome to the Ready Bang, the number one arm wrestling live stream in the world. I'm your host, the Aussie Arm Wrestler. And of course, I got something wrong with the camera here. It's too shiny, this trophy, but I am your 2019 Melbourne Cup left arm, 80 to 95 kilo amateur third place getter, the most sought after trophy in the arm wrestling world. Good to see people have jumped in. You know the rules of the stream. If you can, like the video, give it a ready bang in the comments, and we have it here. Already, my man.
Oh.
Are we back, guys? Are we back? Are we live? Let's see. Here we go. I think everyone is stuck around. Let's have a look. People in the chat, we'll try again. Ready, bang. Here we go. Are we up and about? Can people in the chat? We are back. My stupid computer froze because there's too much horsepower on the TV. That's what happens. Oh, my God. We are back. We are back. Thank you very much for your patience. Now, let me just get back to everything that was going on. I've got a state champion in the chat. Gives it a ready bang. Everyone, give me a ready bang because I've got two of my favorite people in the chat. They are stars, not only on the table, but off the table. These two have a mega interesting story to tell, and they have been fans and friends of the Aussie Arm Wrestler since day one. And I'll tell you what, arguably, there's a good argument. I reckon these two just might be the cutest couple in the arm wrestling world. They're a little bit smitten, and they get the cutest couple in arm wrestling because Mrs. Aussie Arm Wrestler is not an arm wrestler per se. I tell you what, they are arm wrestling's Power Rangers. Please, ladies and gentlemen, give a big warm welcome to Jason and Sarah Latona. Guys, finally, welcome to the show.
What's up? How are you? Well, you can hear us fine? We're good?
Can you hear us?
Yep, I can hear you guys, and I'm sure
Thank
everyone
you for
there
having us.
already. One of my absolute bangers, says, I like his frames. They're
Tom
really
Ford.
liking your glasses there. Hey, that's a first.
They're
Usually
Tom-
the internet goes straight for the juggernaut.
They're Tom Ford. So, I mean, it's one of my sponsors, Tom Ford.
Beautiful. Guys, I just have to quickly share two stories about how awesome the Latonas are. First of all, they are two of the most patient people ever. And we'll start off with the 24-hour podcast. 24-hour podcast, and these guys, Chinese food got cold because they would rather come on the podcast and support what I was doing. So for that one, I was very, very greatly appreciative. And I think they are getting an idea. I've been telling these guys for 2 years, in a couple of weeks, guys, I'll get you on the show. In a couple of weeks, guys, we'll come on the show. Jason, Sarah, absolutely. In a couple of weeks, I'll get you on the show. It's been 107 weeks.
Around there.
And we finally got there. Retro Rystar with a nice little super chat says, I will heel hook him anywhere, anytime, because these two, they.
Well, Jake, that's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu reference. And here's the funny thing about that. I actually can't be heel hooked. Without me like putting on my OnlyFans. I know I have an Only Forearm shirt, but if I show you my feet, I'm going to show you my foot. And I'm going to show you that my feet, I can't show you. My feet bend. When I was a little kid, I always played video games. You know, normal kids, you put your feet like this. Well, I always put my feet the other way. So my toes bend. I want to show you guys. My toes can bend all the way in half, and I can't be heel hooked. Unless I've been heel hooked by Gary Tonin. But other than that, if you're a jiu-jitsu guy, you know who that is. But it's a weird thing with my feet. I have super flexible feet ever since I'm 2 years old. And at 45, my feet are still flexible. So there it is.
There you go, Retro Rystar. I will look forward. He's competed in Worlds at Jiu-Jitsu. Retro.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, Retro Rystar loves it. Mad mixed martial arts fan like you two guys.
I'm just trying to get you more money because obviously I'm getting you more money because he's saying that he want to bet you can't be heel hooked. That's all. I will bet another $50 super chat for Jake that I cannot be heel hooked.
Beautiful. I'll tell you what, how good would this be? I organise an absolute super card, and then we have a special Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fight with Retro Rystar Gaming and Jason Latona. And I might even tell you off camera, Jason, you have met Retro Rystar Gaming. So I'll let you dwindle that in your brain and get you nice and confused. So don't worry about that as he just strokes a beard.
Is he Australian?
Yes, he is. That's all right. I'll let you try and divide 64.
If you want a jiu-jitsu match, I'll automatically concede in a jiu-jitsu match. My back and neck cannot take it any longer. My hips and feet are good, but I would tap out way before you got to my heel. Believe me.
Oh no, it's going to be awesome. Everyone's in the chat just saying g'day, and they're just loving that we finally got you on the show. Look, I can get a bit smitten. We all know my love for the Aussie arm wrestler. So how does an aerial ballet dancer meet a stuntman performer who looked like Adam Lambert 4 or 5 years ago?
I did. Yeah, 3 years
ago. I have so much more respect for Sarah because she fell in. You're a very handsome man now, Jason, but Sarah fell in love with the Adam Lambert with the maybe distinctive haircut and the very foundation.
I still have the hair. I can still do the Adam Lambert hair. I definitely still can. But I appreciate you think I'm hotter now. I actually used to think I was hotter when I looked like a member from NSYNC. But I literally debated because this is a funny story. We actually literally had this conversation last night. Yeah. We were walking here because we live in Vegas. We were on the Strip, and not Friday night. And we were walking on the Strip, and I was like, "Man, should I shave and shave my beard and, kind of go back to like old handsome me. Cause for a while I was like, cause we got back from Singapore and I put on like we both put on so much weight.
Yeah.
And, and I was like, for a while I was afraid to shave because dude, I'm like, fuck, I don't know what I'm going to fucking look like. I don't look like, and so, now I can see, I'm lean again. I'm competing at, 2 weeks from now, I'm competing at 172 pounds. So I'm walking around about 184, 185, but what is that? About 80 kilo, I think 80 kilos. So I'll be competing a little bit under that, maybe like, 70 something kilos would be 172. And that I just feel better at that age that weight. And, I look better. I'm handsome again. I can sort of see my cheekbones, which I haven't seen in like 2.5 years. So,
mine are on missing persons report. My cheekbones. Yeah. I'll never
you have
see
good
them.
cheekbones. Yeah. You have nice cheekbones.
But don't worry about anyone else who's worried about if you look good or not with the beard. The only person we need to ask is the beautiful Mrs. Latona.
Oh.
Mrs. Latona, are you do you prefer Jason beard or no beard?
I like both, but I do love the beard. It's definitely more of a manly look for me.
There you go. And you fell in love with him when he looked like a child. So
I did.
I did.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. That's the other reason I haven't shaved either, because again, at 46, now granted, I used to do, Jake, no bullshit. When I was like 27, I would get carded for rated R movies and going with girls on dates. It was so frustrating. But now at 40, I'll be 46 in 3 months, less than 3 months. I love the fact that everyone thinks I'm so young looking. So, and everyone's like, what's your secret? I have no Botox or anything like that. I have a full head of hair despite my testosterones and everything like that. So, you can DM me and ask me for my fountain of youth. Maybe that's what I'll do next. Get on arm wrestling and do men's wellness or something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Write a book.
But
absolutely.
But to answer, I was going to say, to answer your actual original question, I moved to Singapore in 2009, and I got contracted to be a performer over there to open up a resort. And Universal Studios is at their Resorts World. And in 2011, Sarah here was hired to be in the show that I was I was like the lead of the show. And Sarah was hired to do the show. And we first met each other. I thought she was hot, but I thought she was crazy. And
crazy.
And that was 2011. Next thing I know, thanks, man. See, that's when he wants to get my book. And but X amount of time later, Sarah just I quickly realized that this person she was a fun, friends with benefits. Yeah. She became quickly became my best friend. And I realized I just, like to do everything. I was like, I want to go to the mall. I kind of want to go with her. The guys want to go to the movies. I kind of want to go with her. And, people know, if they know my story, I'm not afraid to tell people I'm a man of God. And when I saw, the kind of Sarah and I shared a lot more than just, forearm muscles and good back genetics. We became best friends, and we've been best friends ever since. So we got married. It'll be 5 years in June. And but I know you're a happily married man, so it's fun to hear that kind of stuff, I think.
Oh, absolutely. That's why I know, like, everyone's like, talk about arm wrestling, talk about Power Rangers and how they're on Singapore TV and all that. But sometimes I get a bit caught up in a bit of a love story. Sarah, just quickly, sure. What was it? You've been flown over to Singapore. I mean, you're ballet aerialist. You've done it all in a day. Why? Why my man Jason? Why my man Jason?
Well, the biggest reason for me was his heart. I know that's as cliche as it can get. As cliche as it can get.
Heart is American for penis.
But heart is American for penis. Yeah. That's exactly what I was going to say.
You say penis.
Fell in love with his penis. 100%. No, but honestly, it was just the way that he was about everything. I liked the fact that if you wanted a straight answer from somebody, you would get a straight answer from him. It was never beat around the bush. It was never anything like that. It was just, I fell in love with who he was. And a lot of people never got to see who he really was. And I felt very honored to be that friend that was always there for him.
Oh, it's amazing. I thoroughly enjoy it. You guys put all your smitten photos all over your social medias and things like that. Guys, if we'll get into everything you do on the socials in the moment, but let's take everyone back to the arm wrestling journey. And Jason, we'll start with you because Sarah, you debuted with an absolute bang. Don't worry about that. We'll get to that in a moment. So, Jason, when does your arm wrestling journey start?
Probably when I was about 6 years old. I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and if you know what Pittsburgh is, it's home of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And the reason that they're the Steelers is because Pittsburgh is a steel town. And so growing up, my grandparents actually both worked in a steel mill. And my grandmother would spool steel. That's what her job was, like wrap steel. And she literally, I guess that was part of her thing of a job, working, iron working, steel working, that kind of thing. And so when I was a kid, if she would ask me to do a chore, I would say, no, or whatever, take the garbage out. And she would say, I'll arm wrestle you for it. And I think I had to wait till she had cancer and got really old before I could beat her. God rest her soul. But yeah, I was exposed to the sport like really young. It just because it was like a strength that, test of strength, as you see in a bar or in school. And fast forward to 1986. I'm 10 years old at that time. Over the Top comes out, and just like your friends, you're like, you watch the Ghostbusters on TV, or you want to be, your kid, you watch Batman or whatever you want to be. We just watched Over the Top, and all of us always wanted to arm wrestle. So we had little like arm wrestling clubs and stuff. No tables or nothing, just on a picnic table or whatever it was. And when I turned about 16, 17, I started doing roofing. My friend's dad owned a industrial roofing company, and I would carry 5-gallon drums of like tar all day long. And at the end of the day, I had fucking my hands and forearms would just be strong. And so for me, and then my junior year of high school, I had an injury. I don't know if you can see it on camera. I ripped my finger, and I had a tendon surgery. And they told me my hand would always be like this. My finger. They said I could never fully close my hand, and I would never have full hand strength in my hands. And even at that, like 17 years old, 16, 17, I was like, fuck that. I'm gonna have the strongest hands in the world. And I started looking at anything that had to do with hand strength. So at the time, there was no internet. There was just like there were news flyers and Sports Illustrated magazines and stuff like that. And then in my senior year of high school, so I got in real grip stuff. And next thing I know, when I started, going to people would arm wrestle me in high school, the guys, the football players, I was always small. I was always like 5'6", 135, 140 pounds. And was it good? Oh, okay. So I senior year of high school, I see a Sports Illustrated magazine, and it was an article about the great Dave Patton. And I don't know if you know who Dave is, or if you're an arm wrestling fan, he's legendary. And I was like, holy shit, this is real sport. Because dude, for me, I remember one time I was in I'll never forget it because it almost kind of really traumatized me. I was in like cafeteria, lunchroom, arm wrestling the football players, in high school, and American football. And I thought at the time they were all making fun of me. And they were like trolling me, because I have these big, 6-foot guys, like, and I was just sitting there. And then another guy would come up and they would do it. And I couldn't pin them, but they couldn't pin me,
Yeah.
but these are guys that outweighed me by, quite a bit. And my friends were like, dude, they're not fucking around. Like, dude, like, you're really good at this fucking arm wrestling thing, and I would just wear them out. They would just hold it, and I would just do like this, like, they would just get tired and they quit. And so for me, I was like, man, this is crazy. I wonder if this is like, that'd be so cool if Over the Top was a real thing. The Sports Illustrated magazine comes out and about Dave Patton. Now, my mom, who, again, I mentioned about my mom on our show, Brandon and I show, Morning BJ. She's, a huge fan of mine still, and always has been a great supporter. I told my mom about this guy, Dave Patton. I'm only like 17 at the time. And she calls, I don't know if you have directory assistants or you directory, like she calls like 411 and asks for a number. They said he was from West Virginia, and she says, do you have a number for a Dave Patton in West Virginia? And the operator says, we have a number for a Sue Patton. And so they connect her. It turns out to be Dave's mother. Dave's mom puts her on the phone or him on the phone with me. I said, dude, I'm a big fan. I want to get into this arm wrestling thing. At that time, Dave Patton gives me his secret workout. And I started doing it back then. And next thing I know, I moved to Florida. The internet comes out, that's this fast forward to like, this is early 2000s. And I meet up with a guy named Greg Helm. And he was the guy, and Greg's still, like, I think, around the arm wrestling scene in Jacksonville. Artem Taranko knows Greg well. And Greg got me involved and invited me to a practice where I saw one of the over the top tables. They had one of the real tables from over the top. And I got exposed to the sport, and I entered a competition. I think I went to a practice on a Wednesday, and like not that Saturday, but the next Saturday, I did my first comp. And I only lost because I got to the final. I lost or semifinals, and I lost on in a ref script because I didn't know what that was. So I moved to a ref script, and I got fouled out. Next thing I know, they said, "Come back, you're going to be great." Sarah again. She's a sport. She brought my trophies and these are from 2003. And yeah,
oh, sorry. Are we having a trophy off?
No, I'm not trying to out trophy you.
I'm a really big fan of you two.
That's called a segue right there.
And you come on my show
I've heard
have a trophy off with me. Oh, let me hang on. Oh,
I've heard the rumors.
All righty. No.
I've heard the rumors. I was gonna say I don't want to one up you, Jake, but this is what I drink out of. This is what I drink out of. But anyway, so I came back. I my next like 2-3 years in 2-3 tournaments, I went undefeated. I was gonna be like there was a magazine back then. It was called the Arm Bender. And it was a magazine about arm wrestling, and they would talk about tournaments. That's how you, kind of kept up with it. I think Denise Waddles, Leonard Harkins were still involved in those back then. And next thing I know, my dad, this was like 2003, 2004. I was getting ready to go to nationals. My dad got diagnosed with cancer, and I was in and out of hospitals with him battling cancer for 13 months. And I watched my dad go from a strong man to a skeleton. And at the time, I was also trying to balance out my touring. I was doing Power Rangers, Universal Studios. I was a circus performer, so I did a hand balancing act. Now, in hand balancing, you stand on your hands like this. Everyone knows arm wrestling. You're training arm wrestling like this. So I started losing mobility in my handstands. Now I'm making money touring, working with not Cirque du Soleil, but another Cirque company, and or I can win these amazing plastic trophies. As a fool, I gave up the arm wrestling thing and pursued the trophies. I went back. I still tried to make a tournament. I was actually at the tournament where Todd Hutchins and I talked about it. It was the famous tournament in Jacksonville, Florida at the Mudville Grill that Todd beat Cleve Dean and Dave Rando at the same tournament. And I was there. I got my ass kicked. I went into a tournament. Boom, first match, got smashed. I won like a match or two. Got put in the loser's bracket, won a match or two. Next thing I know, I got beat again. And I just realized I couldn't do both things. So for me, 17 years later, I'm in Singapore. Again, I was the reference to jiu-jitsu thing. I was done doing jiu-jitsu, my back, my neck. I just couldn't do it anymore. I started getting it was just too much. But I still wanted to be competitive, and I met up with Valen Lowe. Shout out to Valen and T. June from Singapore Arm Wrestling. And yeah, you know those guys. Yeah. And that's where I met Phil through those guys and some of those guys. That's how I initially found out about Ryan and everything through Phil and Valen. But those guys welcomed me in. I started training again and brought this nutcase to like my second or third practice back because she was like, I'll try it. And here we are,
Here we are. Wow. Yeah. We'll get through some of the comments. Very good story there. Just quickly, Jason, my man Levan Gasparini's asked Jason, favorite Metallica song or do you like country?
I like both. Favorite Metallica song, probably Enter Sandman. Favorite country song, Hicktown by Jason Aldean.
Sarah, can you answer both questions?
I was going to say both of those.
Both of us that's not your favorite country song. Come on. Your favorite chicken rice or chicken fried, right?
Chicken fried is my favorite country song.
Wow, funny. Yeah. That's my favorite food. David Marr is a good follower of all of us because he says, Ready Bang with the Power Rangers morning BJ. which is we'll get to all the good stuff you guys are doing in the arm wrestling world. But my man Thomas Champ just defending me. Says never bring a trophy on Jake's live. His third place trophy, the most sought after trophy.
It is.
Of
There it
all of
There
arm
it
wrestling.
is.
2019 Melbourne
I
Cup,
can't
left
believe it.
arm,
I
80 to
can't
95.
I have very
Yeah,
few regrets in my life, and that was just one of them. So thanks for that.
that's
Jake.
okay.
Thanks
We
for that.
forgive, we forget, we move on. There's
Right.
plenty of love coming from the land down under. Marcus Thompson, the Money Slam, comes in with it, always supports all the channels. And he says, some Money Slam for hardest worker on the tube, ready bang, and loving the Latonas. Great couple and very interesting background.
Thank you.
There's I want to get through everything, and I've just got to remember like one of the biggest reasons why I'm a huge fan of these guys, and I'm actually going to write it down because I'm always excited to talk them. If I just got to write something, okay, beauty. Just want to write that down. Yes, they, mate, their story's unbelievable, and yeah, the way they've gone about it, Marcus, they've gone about it the right way. You know, as you can see, they're just two good people, and when two good people are in love with each other, Aussie Arm Wrestler is always on board. I really do appreciate that. Everyone getting in there, setting ready bang, and Bob Brown's poker face says ready wang. Hi Jake, hi to you, Bob Brown's poker face. Some of these names are awesome, which is good. So now we heard a bit of a version about Jason. Sarah.
Yes.
How did Jason convince you to come over to our ridiculous sport? Or was it something you were interested at all?
It actually wasn't a convincing. I've kind of always been a fan of arm wrestling. I mean, everybody grows up arm wrestling. If you ask anybody, they're going to be like, oh, I did it in elementary. I did it in high school. I did it in middle school. Like everybody grows up or doing it at a bar. Everybody grows up with it. He had just been, like he was saying, in Singapore. He had gone to practice with them, twice?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 times.
Two or three times. And, you know, he was just like, hey, I wanted to go down to practice today. Do you want to go and try? And I was like, okay, I mean, I'll go and try and see if I like it. I did the same thing with jiu-jitsu. We both trained with Evolve MMA over in Singapore, and I went in and I was like, oh, I'm going to try like a Muay Thai class. Did one of those, and I was like, absolutely not. I'm never doing that again. I have bruises on my legs, and as a performer, you can't have bruises everywhere, like everything like that. So he was like, well, why don't you try a jiu-jitsu class? So I went in, did the jiu-jitsu class, and he was watching on the side. This also pertains to arm wrestling as well. He was watching on the side, and he's like seeing like me grapple with other guys and girls.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I looked
huge
over
men,
and I looked over and Sarah's literally got like like
one of like the biggest
like
guys
110 kilo guy laying on top of her. Her face is red.
Yeah,
he's red. I'm like, she's gonna divorce me, or if we weren't married yet, I'm like, she's gonna leave me.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the fuck did you just do to me, asshole? You know? And I was like, I'm so sorry. And she was like, I loved it. I was like, okay, what? And
so it kind of went along with the same thing with arm wrestling. He was like, hey, do you want to come to a practice and just try it out, see how you feel?
Like I was gonna say, it actually was it Cinco de Mayo was our first arm wrestling, and I think I think a lot of it was tequila. We were at, I think, right before we went down to the.
Tequila makes me unstoppable.
She was doing tequila shots. I said, "You want to arm wrestle?" She's like, "Ah, fucking arm wrestle, sure." So.
Yeah. So I actually put up a video that Jason had taken of me my first time on the table ever, and you know the guys on the Singapore arm wrestling team basically were like, "You need to keep doing this because you're a natural at it." And I tried it once, and I've never looked back. I was gonna say, I think
because as a dancer, dancing is such a again with all sports,
especially with ballet.
I was gonna say the more coordination you have with any sport, the easier it is to pick up. Like your buddy, the jiu-jitsu guy, like you know, you anything. If you find that people that are coordinated, you know, especially dancers, you know, you're used to saying do this 5, 6, 7, 8, and then they go 5, 6, 7, 8. So for Sarah, I broke it down, and you know, for me, not to, I don't want to try to come on here and sound like I'm like some king shit, but I know I'm a good teacher, and
100%. I wouldn't
and
have stayed in the
well, yeah, but
arm
I'm just saying,
wrestling if it wasn't for
I'm a good teacher, and I'm good at analogies and making people go that thing where they go, oh yeah, oh, it's like that. And with Sarah, you know, I told her, imagine it's like a this and it's like a this. Think when you're just prepping for a turn, you're gonna start moving your head. And so right away she went on the table with, you know, the girls from Singapore that have been doing it for, you know, years and were competitive, and she just whooped their asses. And I was like, fuck, what did I
felt like nothing.
Yeah, and I was like, shit, and I'm like, all of a sudden I'm instantly like, ooh, how can we make money off this? You know? I'm like, so yeah.
And for me as well, I've been performing since I was 3 years old. So when it comes to things like learning a technique and everything like that, I'm a very, very visual learner. I can look at somebody and go, okay, I know how their muscles are triggering. I know how they get from there to there. And because of my background in dancing, I'm able to pick things up very, very, very quick. So it's not that, yes, I was a natural at it. It's the fact that I have my background in dance that I'm able to catch on to things very.
You've used it to your advantage. You've used it to your advantage. Worked out how to cross it over, which many people can't do because Mrs. Aussie Arm Wrestler is a ballet dancer. She did ballet up until about 22, and then like she finished her degree and became a primary school teacher. So it's I would have never have thought. That's what I mean, Jason. You're not really pissing in your own pocket, but you know, being a good teacher to able to help Sarah with Sarah's coordination and movement. I never would have thought to think of that. Sometimes when Jess finally caves in and jumps on the table with me, I wouldn't have thought that
one day.
But I was going to say also though, you know, not to take, and then Sarah also had, she's strong. There's people, you know what I'm talking about.
I have a very strong upper body because of my ballet background.
Yeah, but I was going to say, doing jujitsu, doing aerial work, you know, she had that pull-up strength, that hand strength, you know, kind of naturally that, you know, a lot of females, and again, I know you asked what we can talk about and what we can't talk. It depends. I had a couple hits of my weed, so shout out! I got a bong. I got a bong sent to me. It's actually one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
Amazing.
And but you know, I again being respectful of that, but you know, it's when you grip up with an average girl like who's never really strength trained or did this or that, you can just, even a guy, you know, there's like a play in their whole joints and wrists, as opposed to you got someone who's a seasoned strength athlete. Their integrity of their body feels differently. So she already had the integrity part too, combined with the, you know, and she got a lot of success really fast in the sport. You know, it's coming up on September will be what, 3 years or 4 years?
3 years.
4 years. 4 years that we've both been back into the sport, September 21st or September 18th. I can't remember what it is. And will be 4 years that we've been back in the sport. And again, for me, you know, when people talk about when I was competing back in my 20s, you know, 17 years ago, there was no technique. I couldn't go on the YouTube and watch a Devin Larratt video.
No.
You know what I mean? They told me, hey, set up at the front of the pad corner. You have a big hand for a 54 guy, you know, because that's what I competed at 54. And guys can't hear that saying before as a Canadian. That's cool.
I'll read. You know, don't get distracted by the comments. I'll read out the comments. You continue on with your stories.
Sorry. And but yeah, you know, I didn't know technique or anything like that. So only in the last, you know, when I came back and started with the Singapore guys and you know, meeting what's the guy's name? I can't think of off the top of my head. He's like the #1 guy in New Zealand.
The big fella, the beast. Matawangi.
No, not that guy. This guy was like not maybe #1 overall, but man, I can't remember his name. No, I can't. Anyway, I feel so bad. I can't. But he came out there, and again, in my year that I was back in the sport in Singapore, You know, I got to meet some cool guys. You know, we trained with guys from Russia, Kazakhstan, things like that, and learned that more European approach mindset to training, which is very different to me. You know, and I've been a big advocate of trying to get Americans to train like the Europeans. And then you know, I came to Vegas, and I think we got here on a Wednesday, and by Sunday I had already was at a practice with shout out to Jeff Alexander. If he's Jeff's doesn't really compete or train to Wentworth, but he was the one that kind of exposed me to the rest of the teammate. That's where I got introduced to Eric Spotos and Brandon Allen and all these guys in the the Vegas team. And then for me, you know, it's been such a whirlwind where we got back here. Like I said, we got here in September. I was shocked that Vegas didn't have any social media. So Sarah and I took it upon ourselves to make the social media. I reached out to Devin. He was like, you know, I said, hey, man, if you're ever in town, he's like, actually, I'm coming in there for a weed convention. I was like, oh, okay. And next thing I know, you know, I hung out with Devin. He gives me his number. You know, I'm meeting Michael Todd and Rebecca. And I've got, you know, Derek Smith introduced me to Todd Hutchins. And so Sarah Backman and, you know, and all these people. And I'm not name dropping, but I'm just saying I feel so blessed that in a short time, we've had so much exposure to the greats of the sport, you know, and, you know, it's a blessing. That's all.
That's where I'll jump in, and that's why I have been massive fans, because that's what I was writing down before. Because you have access and have become very good friends with the best in the world. You're Devin, Sarah Backman. You know, we'll get to your show with Brandon in a moment. You know, Derek Smith helps you out. You've met Todd Hutchings and all that, and you never ever sit there and just, oh well, you know, these guys are my friends, rah rah. You both have been very humble about it all. And that's something that I can get behind. I think it's,
well, I mean, I remember when Devin called me when he was coming into town, I said, do you want me to try to get a, you know, because I respect everybody's for their time. Time as you get older is the most precious thing in the world, you know, and it doesn't matter. Money comes and goes. Your time is just going. And, you know, and I think it's the thing when you get older, you realize that. And so I respect everyone's time. And when I asked Devin about coming to the gym and arm wrestling, I said, do you want me to get, you know, some money together? Do you want me to collect a door fee or anything like that? And he said to me, hey, buddy, if you can you just pick me up from the airport? And I was like, yeah, sure. Okay. And the very first thing I said to Devin was, he's walking toward me. He was like, what's up, man? Devin Larratt. And I was like, Jason Latona, what's up, my friend? And I said, Devin, just before, I just want to throw something out there before we get out. I couldn't give a fuck who you are. I think you're a cool guy, and that's it. And I'm not like a groupie star fucker kind of thing. I just thought I'm trying to help my team out. And he was like, dude, I love it. You're cool, man. Next thing you know, we're talking. Devin's in my car and we're laughing. He's like, ask me for my number. He's like, dude, I want to hang out with you, man. Every time I'm in Vegas, and every time Devin's been in Vegas, you know, he's reached out to me, and you know, we got to hang out. He helps me, you know, promote my shirts. We got to hang out in Orlando, and again, all these guys, Vajian Segoya, Cobra Rhodes, these guys have all been nothing but gentlemen. The females in the sport, Angie Rose, Nancy Locke, Sarah Backman, Michelle Dugan, have been nothing but a mentor to Sarah. And again, I appreciate Michael Todd, Rebecca Todd, even though they know I'm mad at him for a minute. No, I'm not mad at him. I have some secret news that I'll talk. We'll talk about it. Michael's supposed to be joining our show, plugging our show. Michael's supposed to be it will be our guest this Tuesday for on Your Morning BJ. But again, all these people have been nothing but a blessing to Sarah and I. So thank you.
They've all been awesome. You've approached it the way that I absolutely love it. Sarah, let's go into you're in tournament mode here. You're pulling at the UAL. I believe it's your first tournament in the States.
Yeah.
For a state championship. Do you just want to tell everyone what happened? Especially on the left arm. You just want to tell everyone what happened?
Well, okay, so we got back in September, right? Yeah. And the UAL was in January. Yeah. So I had that amount of time to practice. And I got up to the table with one of these girls. Her name was Hannah. And a lot of people know Hannah in the arm wrestling world. I mean, she's been around for a while. Just kind of the West knows who Hannah is. Yeah. Of America, like the West in America, which is like California, Nevada, like all those states know who Hannah is. And I had no idea who she was, never met her. I didn't know her credentials, anything that she did in the sport, anything like that. So we get up to the table and I first pull her on the right and I'm like, holy crap.
Well, and
This
that was
is
the
arm wrestling.
Well, I was going to say it was the first
This is-
time that Sarah and Sarasota, because we had no females to train with.
I
you
had
know?
no females.
So it was the first
no
time
females. First time I get on the table with another woman
that's strong. Like
that's
her, you know?
strong, like Hannah. Hannah and her wrist and fingers are titanic. Like she's very, very strong when it comes to that. And I got on the table and she whomped me on the right. And I was like, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna go against her? Because at that time, my right felt okay and my left felt awesome. And I was like, all right, I'm not gonna let this get to me. I'm gonna go full force with her. And I remember at that table, I put my hand up and I felt her and I pulled back and I felt her arm collapse. And I was like, I got you.
Shit is on.
I got you. I felt it. I was like, I got you. She hit me. I caught her and then did just a top roll and just pulled her out of it. And that feeling that I got was the most amazing adrenaline rush I have ever had in my life.
Short of being in the bed with me. But
But honestly, that was the best time I ever had in my life. I felt her arm collapse and I was like, I got you.
State champion on the left. State
Yep.
champion. Bang.
Yep.
First
And we're
tournament.
like, she's like a kryptonite to my right and I'm a kryptonite to her left. So anytime we go against each other, that's what happens. But I can tell you right now, if we go against each other, it's not going to happen ever again.
yeah,
Ever
we
again.
changed.
Look at her
My
like
training
garlic
is
and absolutely
completely
crush
different.
her.
Yeah.
It's going to be awesome. Now, I'm going to throw it in there before we talk about some fun stuff and play a few games. Now that I've got you all fired up, Sarah, I'm going to put a timer. I've got a timer here that I'm going to keep an eye on because I know you could talk about a couple of these things for about 19 and a half hours straight. First question I want to ask you, and then Jason, you might have to just hold her back a bit when she gets all fired up.
Okay.
What is it? Why aren't women arm wrestling?
Okay, so what I think the biggest reason why I think women are not coming into the sport, for me, when I first started, the weight classes were a big thing for me. When you look at a tournament and you see the men have like 4, 5, 6 different weight classes, you look at the women's and it's either one class or 2 classes. And I don't think, and it's literally almost the same weight classes as the men. And I don't think people understand when they're creating these tournaments that a 160-pound woman is a huge difference to a 130-pound woman.
Oh, it's the same as men as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's the same as men as well. But most of the time,
Right.
it's 0 to 154.
Yeah, or 70 kilos. Yeah.
Or 0 to 160. Like that's a huge gap for
And
women.
to me, like, and I, to me, in my opinion on this matter, I know you guys said, but my opinion on this matter, I think it's kind of strange. To me, it would be the equivalent of having most women, to me, aren't 155 pounds.
No.
Like, I think most women aren't, like, you know what I mean? Like an average woman, I'm just talking about average. I'm not talking average arm wrestler or average power lifter. I'm just talking average woman is, I'd say, between a 120 and 130, maybe, or
Well, my
150.
wife is heavily pregnant.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So I
So
think
they're like 115 to 130 is like an average range for women.
I think if it would be the equivalent of having men like 0 to 250.
Yeah.
And like for me, I'd be like, well, what the fuck? I'm just gonna go in there and get my ass kicked over and over by the bigger guys,
Yeah.
and then 250 plus, you know what I mean? There's a reason that and I mean, this is, I mean, we go down this rabbit hole, but there's a reason to me, and it's not just to me, this isn't something that affects the women. I think it affects the men and the integrity of our sport.
Yes.
I remember, I'm just going to share some inside information. I don't think I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but when Brandon Allen was doing the Sin City arm fights, now everyone knows Brandon's, accolades in powerlifting. He's made it to the top of the world. And Brandon knows what it's like to be at the highest competition level in a sport like that, which is definitely, as at this moment, definitely a more popular sport than arm wrestling. Powerlifting is more regimented, more popular, all that stuff. Not debatable. I'm not saying the better sport. I'm just saying it's more, organized. So when Brandon Allen called Bill Collins, who and we all love Bill. Bill's a friend and a great guy, fantastic ref. And when he called Brandon called Bill to say, hey, I want UAL to help me run this event. I'm going to promote it, but I want it to be, to get it more legitimacy instead of just like, hey, Brandon Allen's backyard arm wrestling. We're going to make it a UAL event, and call it Sin City Arm Fights. And when Brandon called Bill and said, hey, so what are the weight classes? He just literally just for the idea of making up the flyer. And Bill was like, what do you want him to be? And he goes, what do you mean? And he's like, what do you want him? I mean, like, we can do 0 to 155, 165, 85, typically you and he was like, wait, what? There's not, no, this is Brandon just getting into this. And he's like, there's not a set weight class. And Bill's like, well, not really. That in itself to me is such a problem holding back our sport. Because for me, I can compete at 165 pounds and I can walk around at 205 pounds, depending on, it's Taco Bell and you know what I mean? And McDonald's, but it's like, for me, I'm only like 5'8". I like feeling bigger. I feel good when I'm bigger and it's fun being heavier and stronger. But for a competitive part of me, and I guess the sex appeal part, it's nicer to be leaner, but it's like, I don't know, like for me, I don't know, what weight to sit at because one competition, I don't, okay, am I going to face Alan Fisher at 165 and then the next week take on Coach Ray at 185? Like it's in my opinion, and maybe I just sound like a bitch, but in my opinion, there's 10-pound weight jumps in every professional, fighting. And they're the same, whether you watch UFC, you watch Bellator. If you say I'm a lightweight champion, you're a 70 kilo or 155 pound fighter.
Yep.
So you think just condense it all, make a lot more weight divisions and advertise for a lot more weight divisions, because then that might entice I shouldn't say average female, but the lighter females to come and at least give it a go.
And another thing to add to this, a lot of women only come and do one tournament. And the biggest reason is, which I've actually asked some of them, the biggest reason women usually only come to one tournament is because they don't feel like they're getting anything from it. In a women's class, during a tournament, it's just kind of thrown in here and there, where the men's have a structure as to when they pull. Yeah. They'll just randomly throw the women's in when there's like a stagnant break. They'll be like,
okay. So over in America, you're treated as the toilet break. Go get, all right, guys, quickly go to the toilet, go get your energy drink.
I'm going to play devil's advocate to even my own wife. This is not all tournaments.
No, of course not. No, I just wanted a bit of personal experience and things like that. Of course.
Not all tournaments.
But I think what she's saying in a nutshell is
we just don't get respect.
I think it's more of an afterthought, and yes, I agree.
Exactly.
It's like a second tier citizen. I agree with that.
Exactly.
And
we just don't get the respect.
And again, because it's like I said, men's classes, you got 8 classes, women 2. Some of them are just like, hey, show up and we'll make, it happen, show up and we'll just kind of make the classes and here you go, that kind of thing. And again, for me, it's just one of those things that I just feel like should be organized. And now I get it. I get it from the promotion standpoint. I get it if but to me, it's like, the Field of Dreams movie, if you build it, they will come. Yeah. I think you got to take the risk and just keep putting it out there. And even if you do it as an exhibition type thing to get women, and men, to get them just started. Again, it's one of those problems, I think, with the sport. I think there's lots of them. Even the way the divisions are. I think, like for me, and I'm sure there's a lot of arm wrestlers that are on here that are, your fans that are competitive people that watch my show or our show, your show, Ryan's show. And it's like entering a grappling tournament, a local grappling tournament, and Khabib Nurmagomedov is in your division.
Yeah.
Automatically, you're just like, I'm not getting first,
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, there should be 3 divisions. I think there should be an amateur class, an open class, and a professional class. And that professional class is the one where you pay more money to enter. You know what I mean? If you're a Jamie Sheldon, you're a Vajgan, a Vrej, these guys, Ryan Bowen, ask Ryan, would he not be willing to throw $100 to enter a tournament to make more money? I guarantee his answer is yes.
Oh, of course, all the professionals will. Yeah, absolutely.
Make the amateurs, see, just like football, you got high school, college, this
the pros.
Professional. Make it where it's a tiered system. Hey, anyone can jump in if I want to throw my money down, but that's how you break into the records. Let the trophies be for the amateurs, an open class to say I'm But if you want, I think it's more exciting too. They have the professionals duking it out because it's a thing that I think makes a lot of guys, you come to sport, wham, ready to go, wham, ready to go, wham. Okay, well, I'll go back to amateurs. I'm winning the amateurs. I'm going to go in the pro class. Boom. I get, I pay $50 to get my ass whooped. And meanwhile, the same dudes in your town are going to keep freaking winning. Now, I know, in Australia, it's a little bit smaller, but if you're an 80-kilo guy and Sam Burnett's in your who I'd love to take, dude, Sammy, right here, he get cracked. But I'm a fan of Burnett, right? They're handsome too. They're cute boys. They all remind me of me when I was younger.
I was just hanging out with them on the weekend and hopefully catching up with them later on today. They're here in Melbourne with me.
If you're in Australia and you're imagine you, young dude, trying to 80 kilos, and Sam Burnett's there. You're at least taking second, so, and again, there's people that are motivated by that, and that's great. And then there's people that, you're going to get knocked down so many times before you either go, fuck, I'm going to get better. Or you go, you know what, fuck it, I'm just not that good.
I've let them go on a bit more. I know they're passionate, so I might get these guys back on the show another time to dive deep. But Marcus Thompson, with a super chat, he says Jake loves the gender matches. He means intergender matches and the chance of getting sandwich and a cup of tea made. And as you can see, Sarah's head has just dropped. And I'm not sure if we want to open up these sorts of can of worms, Marcus, because if I can share, Sarah, when I made a particular video, Sarah was one of the first to message me and say thank you. So that's why I was super keen. She's just dropped her head. So I think, Marcus, we just might move on because these guys are super fun and I've got plenty more that I might chat about. But I would love to – we'll see how we go maybe towards the end about intergender and transgender. And we'll see how everyone is
Those
totally...
are 2 different subjects, first of all.
That's right. That's right. And they're
intergender is, if you're a chick and you want to test out your vag power against a dude, fucking go for it. You know what I mean? If you're a dude that don't matter, wants to get it feels good or wants to get his ass handed to him by a woman, go for it. I couldn't care less about that stuff. Again, it's the only thing about it is our sport's in such an infantile stage that, to me, it's gotta be right. You know what I mean? Like, it took UFC a long time before people said it's human cockfighting. You know what I mean? Yeah. And when you turn on a match, and again, I don't know, like I saw Rebecca taught in here earlier, but when you turn on a match and you're for, hey, let arm wrestling on, let's watch, click, and you see the WAML match against 2 guys I really fucking love, but Devin Larratt and Dave Chafee, and you're watching them both under the table like this. I just don't think it's a good look. And there's a lot of things. I just think it falls under that. It's just not necessary. It's just not a good look. We got to get people. You got to get them in the door, and you got to get them. It got to be interesting, and it's got to be entertaining, and it's got to be, competitive. And like I said, the rule sets, and it's got to be something that is everywhere you go. It's the same thing. And like I said, MMA, yeah, there's a rule change here or there. No worries. That's like a difference of a pad or this or that. But like I said, weight classes are all the same. The weigh-ins 24 hours ahead of time. Those things need to just be consistent in order to get a consistent sport.
I do want to, real quick, going back to your original answer for me, I do want to say real quick, I'm going to put a shout out to Sarah Collins McKinney.
Yep.
Because she did the Arm Wrestle Hers tournament for 2 years. And I am so happy that she is the first and only to do an all women's arm wrestling tournament. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah, cool.
Because I do think it also brings eyes to the sport of arm wrestling women.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. If you have an all tournament,
for that.
We have a women's championship later on in the year, so we'll make sure it's live stream, Sarah, so you can watch it. One thing want to do, guys, can you show everyone your t-shirts? Show everyone your t-shirts. So these guys are running, as you can see, and the name it says @GoodPullers. Guys, go and support them. These shirts are awesome. As you can see, they're just two rock stars, two funny people. You got Only Forearms. You had the Catch Me Outside chick for a while.
Yeah, we have it still. Yeah, we have it still. The pull me inside girl.
Pull me inside. How about that? The Curls Junior for those fast food fanatics. They're just fun t-shirts. So please,
our Only Forearms is still our Only Forearms is still our best selling one. You know, we do again. We did a custom order for a guest or a guy this weekend, and you know, we're pretty accommodating. Like I said, what I do is I actually work. I work at right now. I work for a DTG. I'm a personal trainer at the gym Sarah's a manager for, which is Eric Spoto is one of the owners of his gym. And so if you're in Vegas, you're looking for a trainer, let me know. And but I also make t-shirts. So I work for a company that called Rad Custom Tees, and we make t-shirts for people. So we do digital printing. And as I was doing it, you know, and the guy, you know, my boss thought it was cool that I arm wrestle. He's like, that's the thing. And and he was like, bro, you should make some fucking t-shirts for arm wrestlers. I'm like, what would I even call, do? And our very first shirt that I made, our Back to the Table shirt, which was the Back to the Future,
Back to the Future one.
We got fucking hit. Yeah, we got hit with a fucking strike, and so we end up taking it down, and I got discouraged, and awesome. Yeah, we'll still make it for you if you want it. We'll do special requests.
Definitely.
Yeah, but Lethal Arms Network got approached by the LA Dodgers and said,
yeah, we were just gonna make shirts for our team, and I was gonna make some team shirts, and I said, so wait, what can I do? And the DTG is really nice. We use the same shirts Ryan Bone does for the black t-shirts. It's 100% cotton. Next Level is our brand that we use our t-shirts for our men's and women's. Unless you're doing the crops and stuff like that, and tank top, they're a little bit different baseball shirts.
These are special order though.
Yeah.
So if you want the baseball tees are special order.
But again, it was one of those things. Like I said, I like to partake in cannabis, and I sit on the toilet, and I was like, and I think of, like I said, I was like, hey, because that girl came on the Dr. Phil clip, and she's like, hey, catch me outside. How about that? I'm like, pull me inside. How about that? And I was like, oh shit, there's a shirt. And the OnlyFans, I was like, I was going to do only arms. And I'm like, no, but the F is the thing that makes it, stand out. So I said, what if I do only forearms? And because pretty much that's all, arm wrestlers kind of train, for the most part when you think about it. So
we've had non-arm wrestlers get the only forearms.
Oh yeah. We have a couple new ones with that we did a collab with a famous tattoo artist. I'll send it to you on a DM, Jay, because I'll show it to you. But I'll just say if you're a fan of The Simpsons, you'll like our new shirt that we got.
Yeah, beautiful.
If you're a Simpsons fan, so.
But in saying that used to get along, and I've got it there. Good Pullers, go support these guys. Buy some t-shirts. They're awesome t-shirts. But I do have a bone to pick with you, Jason. You come on the show, just having a look, and of course I've mentioned that I'm big fans of you. But you tell me and you show me that you love Sarah. Then I find out that you film Sarah getting beat up by a man in a knife fight and breaks a neck and things like that. Guys, there's a very, very, very good video. And I was like, holy crap, I'm going to get stuck into Jason, because why is he letting Sarah walk in this dark alley and these big guys attacking her? And then I find out that you filmed the whole thing. Sarah,
I didn't film it.
You.
I didn't film it. I don't want to take credit away from the guys Yeah, I don't want to take credit from the Sarah. That's her thing. That she
Yeah.
did a stunt reel and to help
Yeah.
out some guys for a contest, and it turned out cool. So if you saw that, yeah, it's turned out cool. Where can they see
I
that video?
did, and
Actually, I can put it in the link. If
Oh,
you
she can
wanna
put a
see
link
it.
in the
Yeah.
to show up. But yeah, it was a cool video. Again, we shot that while we were in Singapore with some of the stunt guys that worked for a company called Actions Horizons that they did the Waterworld shows. And they do the Waterworld show in Universal Japan, Hollywood, and in Singapore. So
it was because I was like, awesome, I'm gonna get a proper chat with Jason and Sarah. And then like 15 minutes before the show, I saw that video and I was like, I'm slightly scared of Sarah now.
yeah.
I'm slightly scared. There's a lot of aggression behind that smile.
That's the thing. It was actually supposed to be just like a video of like how to do it was like a cooking demonstration. And Sarah just beat the shit out of those guys and they filmed it. So they were yeah.
Thank you everyone that has been commenting and everything. I really appreciate you sticking around. If you've just joined us, this is Jason and Sarah Latona living in Las Vegas, two awesome arm wrestlers. We're going to deep into what else they've done off the table, just two solid people, things like that. And Dominic Lored says, I like your new friends, Jake. To be fair, they've been my friends for a couple of years and the most patient people that never gave up on the Aussie arm wrestler. If you weren't here at the start, Dominic, I told these people every 2 weeks for 2 years.
I know the time difference. I lived in Singapore. Jake, I lived in Singapore. I know how hard it is with the times difference. I'm just like, he's probably still not even awake yet. So
it's like in a couple of weeks, guys are going to go, and then I'd be like, I just put something on my socials. Oh, who do you want on the show? Sarah always messages, Jason. I'm like, yeah, of course, I'm going to get Jason on the show. And your names, like you guys' names high on my list. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get them on the show, of course. And then suddenly it's August. Then it's Christmas, and these guys have been awesome. Fox 8 Ball
came and went.
Fox 8 Ball, he says, Jason Latona's a 420 stoner shirt. So cool. They give you a boner. Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
I'm going to start making underpants that will say that exact quote, and we can split it up.
No, we're going right into this now, Marcus Thompson. Money Slab. Maybe I missed it, but what Power Ranger was Jason? These guys have done a lot, and that's why I was leading in with the stunt work, the video work. Of Sarah legit killing someone on TV and then and then bragging about it on Instagram, smashing someone and stabbing someone. We don't want to promote violence, but bloody hell, that was awesome. But yes, Jason, you've told me this story a number of times, but please let everyone know that you were a Power Ranger.
Yeah, I actually from 1997 to 2001, I worked for the company Saban Entertainment that produced all the Power Rangers content, the original show, the movies. I started working with the Power Rangers Turbo movie, so I worked on the stunt team. So I did whatever color they needed me to. All the guys, we were all about the same size. Primarily did red and green. And red was Jason. It was funny, so that was easy because they would call me Jason and I would answer. But I also did the Big Bad Beetleborgs and the Ninja Turtles that were both Saban and Fox. So like I don't know if they have Fox TV over there, whatever it is in Australia, but Fox is was the television network that aired the Saban shows. And I literally, I worked from them from 97. I toured from like 97 to 2001, touring with the Power Rangers.
There it is, guys. We have a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. Another thing to tick off the list I've got. One of my
favorite things I tell people about being a Power Ranger, because I was 21, touring the country, and the first thing one of the guys we would do is every time we would land in a new city, we fly in a new city, we go to the hotel. The one of the guys that was with us always knew what the best strip club in that city. I don't know how he knew it. He just knew the best strip club in that city. And I would go in there. We'd go in there, and it'd be like me and a couple of Asian dudes, and they'd be like, and these girls would be like, "Who are your friends?" Like they're all like, "Why are you here with like just a bunch of Asian guys, like strippers?" And I'd be like, "We're actually the Power Rangers." And they're like, "Bullshit, no, you're not." And I'm like, "No, I swear to God, we're the Power Rangers." And I'd go out and dude, next thing you know, I'd be trading lap dances for like autographed 8x10s, because we'd have our we'd have our 8x10s, like the autographs for the show and stuff in the trunk. And they're like, "Oh my God, my kids love you." And so we were popular back then.
I would have just stood up and really confused them, and I would have just gone, "It's morphin' time," and just see if you guys are Power Rangers.
Well, I would do that too. I was 21 and stupid. I always had stretchy jeans. I would do splits in the strip clubs with the strippers. So yeah.
What about you, Sarah? Can you stop that? You've been around the world yourself, done a lot of performance. What are a couple of the highlights? Because some of them have been amazing.
For me,
You got Dance in Venice, right? Yeah.
I got to dance when I was 15. I was in a professional ballet company in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I started in the company when I was 8 years old. And when I graduated, I left and went to college for dance. When I was 15, I got to travel with the ballet company in Italy, Bosnia, Croatia, Germany. There was like this summer festival that we got to perform in. And so I got to perform there. I worked in college. I worked at Disney for the college program at Disney. So I got to be friends with, Chip and Dale, Bullseye, Jessie from Toy Story.
Yeah.
I got to be Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh. I got to be Bolt and Mittens from the Bolt movie. I got to be all these different characters at Disney. And then while I was working at Disney, I ended up opening up Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Yeah.
So, and one of my favorite stories ever, well, actually, I have two. So I'll tell you two stories about Wizarding World. So at Wizarding World, we had to take a 4-page test to actually get hired to work there, a 4-page test on Harry Potter. And you had to get a 95% to actually work there. So we took this test, got tested, whatever. I ended up being sorted into Slytherin. And I was like, awesome. Love the Slytherin house. So at that time, I had my natural hair color. I'm naturally blonde. So at that time, I had blonde hair as well. So I get up to my first day. I'm so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is the day that we get our costumes. Side note, our costumes were actually used in the movie as well because they didn't have enough costumes. So they took our robes and our sweaters and our ties, everything. All of them were actually used in the movies. But when we got our new costumes and everything, I get up to costume and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm going to be Slytherin. This girl comes back and she's like, welcome to Universal, and puts the costume down, and it's Hufflepuff. And I looked at her and I was like, this isn't right. I'm not wearing this. And of course, I'm like, what am I, like 20, 21 when I started working there? And I was like, I'm not wearing this. And she was like, what do you mean? This is the costume we have for you. And I was like, no. I'm a Slytherin. And she was like, oh, but those are in the back. We have to, and I was like, well, then you need to go in the back and get me a Slytherin costume because I'm not wearing a Hufflepuff costume. So I get my costume, everything like that. I opened up the Forbidden Journey. So that was the castle ride.
Yeah.
So I get up there. I'm so excited. I've got my Slytherin costume on because I stood there for 45 minutes to get my costume. So I've got the full costume on. We also had wands that were specially made. So we had our wands, we had wand pockets and our costumes, everything like that, and our robes, all that. So I get up and I am in the ride queue at this time. And this little boy comes up to me and he is in a Gryffindor costume.
And she killed him.
And we're in the Gryffindor at the time. We're in the Gryffindor common room and the queue, because in the queue you go into the different parts of the castle, everything like that. So we're in the Gryffindor common room, and this little boy comes up and he's like, "You're not supposed to be here." And of course we have to stay in character. So I looked at him and I was like, "Yeah, but you're a Muggle, so you're not even supposed to be here either." And
I
had so many kids that would do that all the time. They would just constantly nag at you all the time. But opening up Wizarding World was amazing. It was such a fun time. Working at Disney was amazing. And that's what got me my job at Universal in Singapore.
Nah, these guys have done it all. Power Rangers
Yeah.
versus Harry Potter in the chat. Who would win between these two there? They've got some fantastic stories, and there's plenty to go. We might just swing back to arm wrestling because, and I'm going to tease Jason a bit because Jason's worked at Jurassic Park. Yes, he has worked at Jurassic Park. This guy has pinned
He said
dinosaurs.
Parker Cup.
Legit
I can't.
dinosaurs.
He
So
said,
that is
no,
awesome
Jurassic
there.
Park. I think he said
Park.
Jurassic
Jurassic
Park.
Park.
I'm like, I've done both.
But
That's
for next,
that's why I'm doing. That's why I'm making T-shirts now, man. I'm just not what I used to be. Please help me out. I got a lot of skeletons in my closet. That Jurassic.
These are good ones, and it's absolutely awesome to find out. So now, because obviously being the arm wrestler, because I love all the stories, you know, and we could bang on for them for hours. So the next 3 months for the Latonas, have we got super matches planned? Have we got tournaments planned? What's the go? Only what you
I mean,
can let
okay,
out.
so
We
we
don't wanna let
were
too many
hoping
things out.
to, and I don't know to talk about it yet or anything like that. So we were hoping to announce a really cool match that Sarah a card that Sarah was going to do. Unfortunately, the match fell through, and we were really hoping to announce it today with you guys, but unfortunately it fell through. But I mean, it is what it is. Again, like I said, I'm a man of faith. I'm just at this point in my life, man, and I'm not trying to be preachy and shit, but I have this when I feel compelled to say things like this to people. You know, things happen, you know, all the time, you know, arm wrestling, life, everything, you know, things happen. And I just got to a point in my life where I quit asking why, you know, whether you believe it's in God or the universe or whatever it is. You know what? There's so many things in your life that you know, how many things in your life have you like stressed out and worried about, you know, and then you get to that thing and you're like, man, all that time was spent wasted emotions, you know, losing hair, getting gray or whatever it is, losing sleep. And so when things don't go the way we thought they were going to go, I just go, it's meant to be, man. And, you know, it is what it is. And it's meant, and this is the plan. It's what's meant to be. As far as competitions, like I said, to April 9th, we're both competing here at Binion's Casino in Vegas. Really cool to have a local event. So that'll be fun. I believe we're going to be, I don't know if I'm going to compete. It's going to be, again, I always assume I'm going to come out injury free, but I also don't like to whatever, but April 23rd, we're going to probably go out to just to support and the Tucson, Arizona event. That's the match with Yana Gamelins against Corey Miller and Artem Taranko versus some other great, you know, matches on that card. And then we have the big UAL event. Unfortunately, they're the same day. Normally, my favorite tournament of the year is the Hawthorne event in Hawthorne, Nevada, May 23rd. And it's a memorial event to a fallen veteran. And it just, man, that brings out not only a fun weekend, but it brings out killers, man. Every comp, anyone who's been to a Hawthorne comp knows that it's like being at nationals, man. It is just top of the food chain arm wrestling in every category. Even the amateur classes are fun to watch. But this year, because LA Fit Expo, which is also run by UAL, the tournament that runs there, also run by Bill and Chris Collins, normally is in January. But because of the pandemic and everything, all the restrictions in LA, they've all been lifted now. It's going to be now. So Bill already had the signing with the commitment to LA Fit Expo, and they already got the commitment with Hawthorne and the Memorial. So both events are unfortunately the same day. So you got Bill running the Hawthorne event, Chris running the LA Fit Expo event. I think we're going to do LA Fit Expo only because Brandon is, and it makes more sense. Everything because of the Brandon's brand and everything like that. And so maybe we'll bring some t-shirts or, go out there and support Brandon, Filthy Power Industries. And again, it's actually closer. The Hawthorne's like a 6-hour drive. LA is like a 4-hour drive. And because as you know, gas prices in America are $50.
Oh, yeah, it's skyrocketed here. Yeah.
Thank you, Brandon. Not Brandon Allen.
Let's go, Brandon.
Thank you, Brandon. Yeah, the other Brandon and Joe Byron. Thank you, Joe Byron. And so again, just with in real talk, it all comes down to finances and stuff like that. What makes sense, and again, with arm wrestling, I understand, where guys like Artem Tarenko call it a hobby. Me personally, like I said, I train like an athlete. I diet like an athlete for my comps and stuff. I take it serious. But again, I get it. Most of the time, if you're an arm wrestler and you're not top of the food chain, you are paying to play. You know what I'm saying? And that's the unfortunate thing of our sport right now. Again, like for me, and I look at it is, I use my personal training. I try to capitalize on the little thing. I work at a t-shirt factory. Might as well make arm wrestling t-shirts. People have been really supportive of us. So thank you guys. Seriously, thank you to everybody who's bought an Only Forearm shirt or one of our shirts. We appreciate it on the highest level. Jake, I still want to send you one, man. I don't even know if I still got to send you one. And remind me again, because I was like, I'll send him one once I get on the show. And that was like 2.5 years ago. So I don't even know what the rates are now.
I've only got myself to blame. And you
winning but in our little text, make sure I have your address again and the size you need and what shirt you want or whatever. And I'll send you some shirts. But again, thank you guys for supporting us. At the Good Pullers. And again, it's not like I'm making, I'm not going to be retiring anytime soon, making, what I make off each t-shirt because I have to buy them. But again, it's been awesome. We just had a delivery go out in Norway. So it's so cool that we have shirts in Canada and UK, America, Norway, Brazil. It's been really cool. And again, off a little idea that I had with a stupid, silly shirt. And again, it's cool, man. We appreciate everybody's helping us.
So you're winning some people over. Air Eyes 0929 says the Latonas are awesome. The Schmo says, heck yeah, Jason. Just hit you with a follow on IG, my man out there speaking the world. Make sure you follow Mrs. Latona Arm Sport as well. Thank you very much to Schmo, you very loyal person. Mrs. Latona Arm Sport, please. They're both awesome. They are both awesome. Real talk from Levan Gasparini. And I'd like Sarah's input. When are Jason and Brandon going to admit Sarah and Jetty are just covering up to their bromance? As you know, guys, before Sarah gives her response, Jason is the J in your morning BJ with Brandon Allen over on Brandon Allen's channel.
Or the job.
It's an awesome podcast. It's fun. They're getting anyone and everyone on there. I've been fortunate enough to have a go on the show, even though I got ambushed by Evan McGoyne and Cobra. I kind of took over there in the end.
I want you back on, Jake, just so we can talk more about you without them two retards on. Oh, Cobra's not a retard, but fucking Evan. But no, I love Evan.
No, they're great, but it's a fun show, guys.
I'm so sad, man. I'm so sad. Evan was supposed to come to Vegas for this event, and he's not coming anymore. So we were really looking forward to hanging out and partying and having some beers. But But no, we talked about that. We talked about our Jenny and Sarah our cover-ups, episode 1. That was our. Just go back and watch episode 1. That's the very first thing we say. So.
And Sarah's a part of the podcast. She's the one behind the scenes. She does the sound and helps out and make sure bits and pieces there. Do you enjoy watching the show, Sarah, and helping out?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love hearing perspective on arm wrestling. I love hearing about arm wrestling, everything about something that I love so much. So yeah, I love being a part of it for sure. Yeah.
Beautiful. All righty. Now let's get into some games before we wrap up. We've gone a bit over the time I usually do and there's about 987 other things I would love to talk about you guys because you're just two ripper people. But we're going to play whenever couples come on the game. You got to point the finger. I'm just going to ask some random questions, and you got to decide which one. I'm going to count to 3 or count down from 3, and you just point which one. So if the first one,
me or her, right?
That's right. Well, don't point to me because that's just awkward because I've never been to your house. So for some of these questions, so out of Jason and Sarah, who hogs the remote? 3, 2, 1. What's your go-to, Jason?
As far as what?
Is any of the channels, like if Sarah's there and she's
like, So if I'm not watching arm wrestling or you on YouTube or one of I watch myself. I just watch myself or whatever. I'm like, dude, this guy's fucking hilarious. No, dude, Sarah and I this is our guilty pleasure. We again, we both I'm not recommending people do this, but this is what we do in Vegas, especially with all the lockdowns and the mask and all the shit that we did. We literally got into this habit of we come home from work. I smoke. I partake in some cannabis and God's green flower, and we sit and we watch the same movie every fucking night. And and so
Every night
for like 3 months, we watched Dodgeball, with Ben Stiller. I think. Every night
wow, that's a movie you can watch every day.
To the point where we acted out to each other.
Yeah.
And then right now we're on Mel Brooks's Young Frankenstein. We've watched Young Frankenstein every night for probably the last month. Well, because we just recently got it on Blu-ray, and I literally I want my movies are like my underwear. I keep one pair and I'm good to go.
That's what I love about these live shows, guys, because people just get in the moment and they just let out a bit more than they should, and we just can't edit it. And that's what I love, watching the same movie every day for 3 months. This is why the Latonas are coming on the show, and this is why they are.
We have no fucking lives. We're gonna go back and watch Young Frankenstein.
Who steals the blanket? 3, 2, 1. Oh, there we go. Who's the better cook? What's your go-to, Sarah? So if Mr. and Mrs. Aussie Arm Wrestler, when we finally get over to Vegas and we come over for tea, what's your go-to? What are you cooking us?
whatever you guys want. I can cook anything.
Yeah, she'll go cook.
Yeah.
Beautiful. That's good.
I'm the opposite, dude. When she if there's times
water.
where if she doesn't I would make a joke where if she was late for work and she's supposed to be home at 6 and it's 6:10, I start looking at the cat going, because I think we're gonna die. I think that's it. This may be the end. I figure she's made a right decision. She's left me, and she found someone rich, and I'm just sitting there with my cat. I'm like, I can probably live off Grubhub or Uber Eats for a while. While I sell arm wrestling. But I'd be down at the corner with a fucking sign, arm wrestling. I'll arm wrestle you for food. So that definitely, I need her.
The Money Slam, he loves the films that you were mentioning. Levan Gasparini says, watch Interstellar next time.
I've actually never seen that movie.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
Neither have I. Fox 8 Ball says,
another we just got off of. We were watching that. I never saw That's My Boy. I don't know if you ever saw that movie with Adam Sandler. And that is
yes.
That is Adam Sandler. Adam, what's his name?
Adam Sandler.
That's a. If you want to know my personality in a movie, just watch that fucking movie.
Yeah. And Alien Schmalian says, mate, if she leaves, you go with her. So if she's not going to be around for tea, you just go to her work and rock up wherever she is. That's what I do.
She has a restraining order on me.
Yeah.
And Marcus Thompson says, Roadhouse. Best.
That is a good film. That's a good fucking movie.
That's a good one.
A great movie. All right.
Patrick Swayze knocking dudes out with no shirt on, and he got a mullet. Sign me up. I'm a mullet fan.
Yeah.
That's right. Who's the funniest?
Yeah.
Oh, Sarah, I thought you were going to point to yourself just to really throw Jason under the bus.
Nah.
All righty. So with your talents off the table, who's the better performer? Wow. Oh, who's the better arm wrestler?
I
would say him, but he would say me.
I would say her. I would say her. I think she's more accomplished. I'll say that. And I think for where she's at in the sport, I would say her.
I think
someone wants dinner tonight. Very nice save there, Jason.
Well, I think also because as a woman, you have to really focus on technique.
Yes.
I think that's a big thing.
Yeah. Who's the most annoying?
Yeah, I think her.
That's weak, Jason. That is weak.
Being fucking honest.
Straight for the attack. You waited, and I saw your eyes dart, and you're like, the answer is Sarah, but
I'll be totally fucking honest, Jake. I'll be totally fucking honest. I was gonna say me, then I was thinking of that fucking Harry Potter story she told us, and I was like, that was fucking awful. It's her. I don't care about fucking Gryffindor from Muggles. Fuck them.
And the last one before we get into the next game: who buys the better birthday presents for each other? Oh,
I'm a good gift buyer.
I make mine a lot.
Yeah. Where
Oh, that's all right. I'll take that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
all right, quickly, Jason.
she makes me cry more. I always
Yeah.
she'll make me like a fucking card or some shit that she drew by hand, and I'll see it and I'll fucking
Like,
read it and I
this is
start.
one of the things.
Yeah, dude, I can't look at that.
Yeah.
I'll fucking
It's like a little book,
Like-
and it has like hand drawn like.
that she made.
Oh, stop
Like, yeah,
it.
as you can see, it was me when I was handsome because I don't have a beard. But I let
Yeah.
you take it.
Yeah.
You see, I'm fucking crying even the book. I cry a lot. I'm a crier.
Yeah,
I need
you've
some of that.
yeah.
Yeah. I just
You've
want to
got to
take
get the Mrs.
steroids to
Aussie
make
arm
me
wrestlers
romantic.
beat you, Sarah.
Try to take
yeah.
Halo testing just to make me mad.
My wife does a lot of that. Just gets me right in the feels. Of course, when anyone comes on the show, you've got to play arm wrestling's favorite game, and it is pin one, lose one, get rid of one. I'm going to start with you, Sarah. I'm going to give you the name of 3 pullers, and you have to tell me which one you are going to pin, which one you're going to lose to, and which one you are going to say you're not allowed to arm wrestle anymore in 2022. There's no if buts about it. That doesn't mean they're not allowed on social media. They're not allowed to continue YouTube.
Wow.
That is it. They've got the rest of the year off. Everyone tries to find holes in this game. This game is more of a block of cheese. It is not.
I was going to say, I'd rather play murder, kill, fuck, or whatever. Mary.
Yeah.
Well, that's yeah.
Mary
That's where the idea. That's where the idea comes from.
Yeah.
And these are 2 of these ladies have been on the show, and then the other one has got a big, massive match coming up this weekend. So I'm going to give you Fia Rasic, Marlon Kleinsmith, and Sarah Backman.
Oh wow.
You have to, and everyone in the comments, please play this game. You have to pin one, you have to lose one. You guys watching know how to do it, and then you have to tell one of them. Oh yeah, see now Sarah thinks, I've got a loophole here. Let me jump in. Go.
My pin one would actually be Sarah Backman.
Okay.
Wait, do you think? Wait, sorry, Jake. Do you that she can pin or that she wishes she could pin?
Oh, either.
Okay.
You just got to pin
Sarah
one.
Backman would be my pin. Fia Rasic would be my lose.
And you're getting rid of Marlon.
Yeah.
She doesn't.
Are you confident about that? Marlon Kleinsmith is a superstar, a beautiful woman.
Media anyway, come on now. She doesn't.
Yeah.
We're not going to.
But you have to understand too, Sarah and Fia are 2 of my favorite arm wrestlers.
We can't lose them.
I can't lose them.
So then quickly, before I get to Jason's round, who's going to win out of Sarah and Gabby at Queen of the Table this weekend? Aussie Arm Wrestler will be calling the action live.
That's one of the hardest,
And everyone in the comments answer because he answers Gabby. But you tell me, Sarah, what?
Yeah,
I personally would say Gabby. I want Sarah to win. And she could definitely have a chance of doing it. We haven't seen a lot of her training. She's been off social media. So we don't see, but we also don't see much of Gabby either. Gabby does post stuff, but
not arm wrestling.
Not arm wrestling. We haven't seen much from either one of them. Gabby more than Sarah, so I have no idea where Sarah's at right now.
I do. I pulled Sarah a lot. Me and Sarah pulled a lot.
Jason didn't. Yeah, he also has not pulled Gabby.
Yeah.
So
Me and Sarah pulled a lot.
I don't know.
When Derek Smith pulled Tim Bresnan. So Sarah and I probably she probably spent the most time with any one person on the table is again because we're friends. I love her husband, Alive. I always say their name wrong. Alive, right? Yeah.
Alive.
And but Mike's a great dude and love that. But they were awesome. They helped take care of us when we were down in Florida or in Orlando for the that big NBC event that everyone went down to. And again, dude, you talk about an awesome opportunity. It was, but man, I don't know if you know that. I did the live commentary for that. I did it for NBC. I was right alongside Devin Larratt, and that never aired, and it was shit. So fuck. But that was a disappointing moment. But again, like I said, I'm like what I said before. I'm like, whatever. It's not meant to be. It's not meant to be. For me, like if my take on that is, as a betting man, I'm betting on Gabby only because we saw what happened last time, and it's not like Gabby took time off and was like, Gabby I think has been training just as hard. Yes, I think Sarah's motivated too, but until you see it different, you got to go with the same, in my opinion, in any match, That's
why I was saying.
I would think Sarah would even say the same thing.
I'm going towards Gabby.
I want Sarah,
but I want Sarah to win.
I think that seems to be the thing. Fox 8 Ball, love them both. Gabby all day. The Schmo says Gabby, but I want Sarah to win. One of my members, Spencer, he says Gabby.
Yep.
What else have we got?
Like I said, I think with any match, you got to go with the person who
won the last time.
Cool. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. But you got to go with the person who's got the better track record, and the last match, it was so dominant, I mean, she hurt her.
It was,
Sarah hurt herself.
You got to go with the data.
Gabby's arm, and Gabby just looked like it wasn't even. I don't even, what was that, 2-3 years ago? I don't know if there's enough time to to even get that strong. I don't know.
Yeah.
To close that gap.
We'll find it. Queen of the table this
weekend.
I can't wait. So Jason, your pin one, lose one, get rid of one. It is red, black, and pink Power Ranger. You've got to pin one Power Ranger. You've got to lose to one Power Ranger. And then you've got to tell one other Power Ranger you are no longer a member of our Mighty Morphin group.
I was gonna say, wait, what? How fucking fucked up do you want me to answer this question? Because I'm just like, I can get rid of the women one because she'll probably eventually become a dude. We don't need that many dudes. I can get rid of the black one for the off the top of my head. I'm gonna pin the pink one because I know I can. I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna lose to the black one, just to be politically correct, and I'm gonna. And I'm going to get rid of the red one because that would mean me. I was the red Power Ranger. That means there's only one real red Power Ranger left. So fuck him.
But I'll give you that. I'll also give you the 3 best heavyweights in the world at the moment. Vitaly Letalin, Levan Saginashvili, and Devin Larratt. Pin one, lose one, get rid of one after you just politically made your way through the Power Rangers one.
Right. Shit. Wait. Well, who'd you say? Wait. So who'd you say? Vitaly,
Levan, and Devin.
I mean, for me, the lose one, it would be pretty easy. It would be Vitaly, just because social media wise, you know what I mean. I'm a big fan of Levan. I think Levan's a badass, cool, sweet dude. I got to pin Devin just to rub it in his face and just to say, like, I don't know. I'd probably get him with I'm way too strong.
Yeah,
and I'd probably get my ass handed to me by Levan, and he'd smile, and I'd kiss him on the cheek, and he'd probably kiss me back.
And you're getting rid of the Georgian Hulk. Guys, I'll get you both to nominate someone who you think would have a fun time on the show, whether it be another couple or if you both know someone individually that you think will have a bit of fun and would be a great guest on the show.
Oh, us, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh.
Who's someone that you would think would be good, whether it be an arm wrestling couple or if you're like, this arm wrestler is a really good up and comer, or this arm wrestler.
The king of predictions, my buddy Ryan Bowen. That guy's never got a prediction wrong. Have you ever met that guy?
Yeah, you remember.
He seems nice.
He's a cool guy.
No, or no. What is those Burnett sisters? Oh, Burnett brothers.
The Burnett brothers. Hopefully I catch up with them today, and I'm going to say I've got you a match
tell
in America.
When you ask me if I heard of, do you know who Sam Burnett is? Tell them I said never heard of her. But no, let me think. I mean, to be honest, as far as going through couples, I don't really know. I mean, shit, I don't know. I don't know couples that enjoy all that shit. I enjoy the camera. Clearly, you can tell I'm very shy. And I don't like being on television. But as far as for me on your morning BJ, of the guests we had so far, and no offense, Jake, what I had the most fun talk with was Bob Brown. I just love that guy, man. He came on the show, And and I get to train with Bob all the time here. Not all the time, but not as often as I want. But he comes during the winter time. He lives in Mesquite, Nevada, which is about 45 minutes from us here in Vegas, and or else he's out in Utah. And Bob's just such a dude. I just love his stories. I don't know if you watched that episode with Bob on our show. And I asked him, how'd you get started? And man, his story was so cool. Yeah. And I love, and again, this is me. I'm almost like, this is me to pat my own back. I love when I have a theory about something or a theoretical reason for something in arm wrestling, whether a reason to train this way or a reason not to do this, or I say it to Bob and he's like, I agree with you 100%. And I love that because not only because I love that he agrees with me, it solidifies the fact that I might know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And so I really do, I look at that guy as a plethora of knowledge and cool stories and wisdom. And I love hearing what he says. I feel that same way about Todd Hutchins. Todd has helped me in my training. Since I got back into the sport, and Sarah as well. And, I messaged Todd the other day because I just found out about this tournament. I'm used to, again, it was something that I was talking about, the inconsistencies. I'm used to having a 24-hour weight cut. If the tournament starts at 11 a.m. on Saturday, the weight cut starts at early weigh-ins or 11 a.m. on the Friday before. And this tournament, the weigh-ins are at 7 p.m. And I literally asked Todd about, is it safe? Am I going to have enough time? Because he knows I do drop about 20 pounds for a weight cut in a week. And I do it safely. And because again, the cut is not what I'm scared of. It's because I know it's going to be shit. It's always shit. Yeah. But the rehydration process is what most people get wrong. And that's why they feel like shit or they don't perform well. And they get injured because the more dehydrated you are, the less glycogen you have in your bloodstream, your muscles, you're prone to injury, yada yada. But mineral deficiencies, all these kind of things. But I asked Todd if he's done it. He again, not only did he answer me, he just went into detail of what I should do, and he told me a thing, and he let it off with go and do that. You're gonna feel fucking like a badass motherfucker. And I'm like, man, I love that dude, and he's just been nothing but a wonderful guy, mentor to me in my journey back into the sport. So he's just awesome.
What about you, Sarah? Have you thought of anyone that you could nominate to come on the show?
I would have said Bob.
Yep.
I would also say they were on your 24-hour show, RVJ. And
and Heather.
His wife.
I was gonna say, get on RVJ just to piss Bowen off.
Yeah.
Bowen's my guy. Bowen is my mate, but he doesn't mind who comes on the show. I've had RVJ on in long form, and he's gone a bit quiet, a bit off the grid at the moment. But no, him and Heather are genuine.
Heather is great.
But speaking of Ryan, man, I really do feel for him, man. He is just getting just shit luck after luck with his matches falling through. First, the RVJ one. Now, Bovazar gets his visa denied twice. Like, I feel for if Ryan, if he sees this, I feel for you, brother. Because I just want to see the guy compete. I know he's just itching. So.
Oh, he's absolutely itching. And I'm one to always fly the flag for him because he probably cops more hate than what he should. I was up there, I hosted his wedding. I was up there a few weekends ago, and he pays for my flights, then we sit there and he drags me down and tries to make sure that I can get my platform and everything up to his level. He does not need to do that. He's very successful. But the other day I did a live boxing call and my numbers skyrocketed. As soon as the stream finished, my phone rings. Oh, congrats. And it's Ryan. Congratulations, man. Killer. Love what you're doing and things like that. Yeah. And everyone gets stuck into him, but a lot of the hate is very unwarranted.
If I bust your balls, it's because I love
you're banter. That's banter.
You know what I'm saying. I'm being a cheeky. That's banter. I'm just being a cheeky cunt, as you guys say.
It's
just something very different in America.
Fun and games. Now, of course, you've got to give me your best impersonation of the number one arm wrestling catchphrase in the world, and that is a ready bang.
I was going to say deep fried Mars bars. That's what I was going to say. Deep fried Mars bars. That's what I fucking ready bang. That's all. That's the extent of my Australian. People say, you've been Australian. I'm like, yeah. You're like, oh, can you do an Aussie accent at deep fried Mars bars? You ever heard of what they say? How you say you say
Aluminium.
no, razor blades. How's that one? I'm fucking up the joke.
No,
I fucked it up.
well, give us a ready bang.
Ready,
bang!
Yes, there you go, guys. We've gone on a bit. This could be like a 15-part series because these two are awesome. If you're just coming in late, this is Jason and Sarah Latona, the cutest couple in arm wrestling, and they are doing some amazing things. If you want some cool t-shirts like they have there, Only Forearms, Curls Juniors, Pull Me Inside. How about that? You go to @GoodPullers. I was about to say Only Forearms. You go to @GoodPullers on Instagram there, but also follow them individually, Jason Latona and Mrs. Latona Arm Sport, because as you can see, and if you go back and watch it, they are two of the most interesting characters that you will ever meet. And I've been honored not only to have them on the show, but to be able to call them as my friend. Make sure you go to Brandon Allen's channel and check out a very fun and interesting podcast that is Your Morning BJ. And don't let the name fool you. They go deep inside when it comes to strength and arm wrestling. They both, Brandon Allen and Jason Latona, both have some very deep and interesting knowledge that you could all learn on. And plus, they love to have a drink and have a bit of fun as well, while Sarah is on the buttons, making sure some C words and F words just get a bit bleeped out. And she'll chuck in some fake laughs when Jason's jokes fall a little bit short. Guys, I have absolutely loved it. I've loved everyone that has stuck with me and joined around for the whole show, especially when my computer froze 2 minutes in to the goddamn live. But everyone,
like you said, too much power.
Guys, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you, man. Thank you, Jake, for having us. Seriously,
us.
Again, thank you for
you.
being cool with us. And, because like I said, at the end of the day, I never think anyone owes me anything. I never think I owe any, and so I again, it's all blessings. Thank you for, again, it's so nice watching your success. And I love when good things happen to good people. And I love celebrating other people's success. I don't understand when other people get jealous or, well, I'm doing this channel, so you can't do my channel. Dude, like, we should all be helping each other out, helping grow the sport, helping your friends, again, the people that support us. We're a small business, very small business, thank you for helping us. And again, we appreciate the opportunity greatly. And one more thing,
to be fair,
they look really
everything
good.
Jason is saying true, because I remember getting excited. I think it was about 78 followers on Instagram, and then this Jason Latona dude slipped into my DMs and he goes, "Man, your stuff's real funny. This is so cool." And that was at 78. It's about 5,500 now, which is pretty good, and everyone's seen how the channel has grown. So that's why I'm very excited to have them on and very loyal to them. These guys have been here from the start, so that's why. And they will come on again. It won't be another 2 years. I can guarantee you that right now. It won't be another 2 years we come on. These guys are the Latonas, cool people. I'm the Aussie Arm Wrestler, and we'll see you guys real soon.